Back to the 2019 Arnold Classic, which witnessed a fierce competition, ended with the incredible Brandon Carey winning the title. This video will be about another comparison between Brandon and Luke Sandoe, who was placed third. From the first look, you can notice that Luke has the massive structure and the width necessary to pack size. But what he lacks is the conditioning and the overall symmetry that Brandon has. The front double biceps shows that both have the width to hit an impressive pose, with Brandon having the wider and the denser lats and the smaller waistline. Notice how dense Brandon's chest is in comparison to Luke's. Both have massive arms, with Brandon having the better ripped and separated biceps and triceps. Their thighs are massive, but Brandon has the better ripped and separated quads. I like Luke's striated outer quads. Luke's calves look impressive in this pose. Both hit an impressive front lat spread, with Brandon having the better conditioned and ripped physique overall. You can see the striations in Brandon's shoulders and chest. His wide lats perfectly connect with his small waist. Luke also has wide lats, but doesn't have the same narrow waistline. Both have massive thighs, but Brandon definitely dominates with his better ripped and separated quads. The side chest might be one of Luke's better poses, as he shows great conditioning with his ripped and striated shoulders, chest, thighs, and glutes. But this level is not enough to match Brandon, who also has massive and ripped physique with the tighter midsection. Notice how dense Brandon's chest is in comparison to that of Luke. The back shots show that Brandon is on another level when it comes to the conditioning. Granted, Luke is massive and wide, but he is not as ripped or as hard or as dense as Brandon. Just look at Brandon's massive traps, ripped glutes and hamstrings in comparison to those of Luke. The back double biceps shows that both have massive shoulders and arms, with Brandon having the better ripped traps, which perfectly connect with his shoulders and lats. Brandon's hamstrings and glutes are more ripped and separated, but Luke's thighs and calves look more massive overall. The rear lat spread shows that Luke is wider, but Brandon is the better conditioned and ripped with the more aesthetic and smaller waist. Brandon's hamstrings and glutes are better conditioned and ripped as well. Both hit an impressive side triceps pose, showing their massive and separated triceps. Both also show massive and ripped shoulders. Brandon's chest is thicker with the tighter midsection. Their lower part looks impressive with the massive and the ripped thighs and glutes. Look how massive Luke's calves are in this shot. The abs and thighs shows that both have an aesthetic and ripped midsection, but they hit the pose differently, as Brandon squeezes his midsection to show his six-pack abs, while Luke doesn't focus much on squeezing as much as hitting the vacuum pose. Brandon's lats sweep perfectly with his midsection. Both have massive and separated thighs. The most muscular shows that both have powerful traps, wide and massive shoulders, chest and arms, with Brandon having the more ripped and conditioned upper physique overall, with the visible striations in his chest. So this comparison shows you why Brandon is really dangerous. Although Luke is mass monster, Brandon dominates with his conditioning, overall symmetry, and the muscular quality presented in his ripped and massive chest, back, and the narrow waist. Luke, on the other hand, has the size and the width needed, but still lacks the conditioning to show more details, especially in his back, glutes, and hamstrings. The more I compare Brandon to other contenders, the more I'm convinced that he will be the future Mr. Olympia. Thanks for Team Andro and Muscular Development for the amazing photos, and thank you guys for watching the video.